Okay, perfect. So good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Hold on just a second. And I think Young, I think you need to make me host again or allow if you hit screen share. Oh, here we go. I got it. I want you guys to be able to see what we are up to here. There we go. Okay, so today we're going to talk about creating raving fans, the 5 C's of community, and how to really, one of the biggest things with community is this feeling of being supported, having individuals that love what you're doing so much that they go out and talk about it. Those of you that don't know about the Business Acceleration Network, we are a trailblazing community of conscious business owners who are here to make an impact. We are reinventing community and collaboration in entrepreneurship. And so we strive to create win-wins through working together in collaboration. So my intention today is to accelerate your growth, have fun, and help make lots of money doing it. We're going to go through the key points of why we're here. We're also going to have a breakout towards the end where you get to get into small groups here on Zoom. If you're on other platforms, we always invite you to join us live because that's really where the magic is. When we get into these small groups, you'll have a chance to practice your pitch and connect with others and really just plant that seed to start growing those connections and working together. And so we have 6 core business accelerators that we work with. Those of you that don't know my story, I'm trying to go what story am I going to share here? I ended up at one point in my life, well, actually a couple times, going to what we would call maybe a ground zero or a reboot or a pivot. And I found that these 6 core business accelerators help me launch again, but also there's something that I constantly am looking at. How do I implement this into my business? And here at the Business Acceleration Network, we believe in creating an environment where you can do all of these together. And whether you pick one of them or multiple of them, these are strategies that can really help you accelerate your business. So the first thing is to master that pitch, and that's why each event that we do what we call like a high performance networking, where you can get together and get that direct feedback from people of, is this compelling? Does it make sense? When you participate in our 8th Media Magic, you have individuals like Eli and Christy and Juliet and even some sales experts where we help you create that message so that it gets people to want to know more. That becomes like a faucet. We also have found that collaborating in joint ventures, this is where we can work together, leverage together, grow together, and really use each other's gifts and talents to maximize our impact. Juliet Clark with Superbrand Publishing, she's somebody that I would consider a power partner and somebody that we joint venture. And so we found ways to really look at what are our different offerings and how can we co-market and co-share and refer. And so it's beyond an affiliate. It's really where they feel like a business partner. I feel the same way with you, Nancy. I feel like, there's moments where we do endeavors together and it's kind of like we both have that interest in helping each other and then also helping the people that we connect with. The third thing is building that team of mentors and coaches. And part of why when you come here, we really highlight the mentors that are here, because these are individuals that have been hand selected because they have proven over and over again that what they're teaching, what they're doing gets results. They're not somebody that just talks about things or have learned this in a book. They're actually doing it and have done it over and over again. And they're individuals that believe in this win-win scenario, win-win-win scenario. We also love this concept of treating everyone with significance and giving first. And this is, some people may say, oh, this is like the golden rule or things like that. Really, when we, and you'll find with our mentors, when we give from that place of treating everyone as if they're that next most important person in our business, it can make a huge difference. Also, masterminding your goals and challenges. This is, think of Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, a lot of what we do at our events where we get together and you can say, hey, here's my goal, and having all these brilliant minds help you, or here's my challenge, or here's my pitch even, and getting that direct feedback, and then creating media magic. And media magic is where you are positioned as an industry expert. It could be in free press, it could be attracting articles, it could be positioned on TV, it could be speaking events, various things. Now, today we're not talking about media magic. However, if you go to our calendar events at shannonprocise.com/events, every single month we do free webinars that you can participate and learn more about media magic. So I want to talk a little bit about what is a trailblazer before we get into this talk on community. So this is typically a person that is in front blazing a new pathway. And if you're here, I mean, give me a thumbs up if there's times where you feel like you're a trailblazer or you are a trailblazer. I know if you're here, definitely those that I work with as mentors, you guys are trailblazers. You're out of the box thinker by nature, and you're more likely to relate to policy and procedure as guidelines rather than rules that must be followed as written. And you got to bear with me, Nancy. I know you have rules being a part of the chamber, but I also know one of the things I love about what you do is that you are always open to innovation and how can we shift and what can we do. So Nancy, you know you're a trailblazer. And I think, Nancy, I actually got this information from you, if I remember. You're also more likely to ask for forgiveness and permission. When you see an opportunity that has great potential to deliver results, you go for it. You see possibility and opportunity when others see roadblocks. And that's a big thing to take in is, what lenses do we wear? How do we look at this? And so as we're sharing today, talking about building community and connecting, I invite you to put on those glasses of opportunities and possibilities. And if you have those roadblocks, that's where you reach out to one of the mentors. That's where you say, hey, I need some help. That's where you might raise your hand of, can you tell me more? Or I have this coming up. Sometimes a lot of those roadblocks are just things we think, right? We think it's a roadblock, but then we talk to somebody and they give us a solution that will do that. So trailblazers naturally recognize opportunities. They lead your team towards the next step in your journey together. You are not only willing to take the road less traveled, but you have the courage to take the road never traveled before. And so thank each and every one of you, because if you're here, I know you are a trailblazer. Is that a here? Do you guys agree? You're all trailblazers? Yes, good. So when you are looking at building a community, yes, thank you, Regina. I want you to know that you don't have to build your own community. Okay, that can take a lot of time. And I'm going to show, even though I'm going to show you today how to do it in a fun and easy way. Also, when I'm talking about building community and creating raving fans, that could also mean you being a part of a community or even contributing to community, finding a way that works for you. That's what's really, really important. We're all in community all the time, whether it's a part of a chamber. Orly does some health things too. If you are in business, I invite you to always have your own community, and meaning could be community of having your own list, own contacts, way of reaching out to people, and staying connected. And so, as I'm sharing today, I want you to look at it in both lenses, but know that even if I'm sharing this is requirements for your community, know that you can do this in any community, whether you join a nonprofit or, again, the chamber is a prime example of a business community that you can step into and get involved. Nancy, I didn't know you're going to be here, and I get to really use you as our poster child for community. So, part of what got me really passionate about community is my mom actually kidnapped my brother and sister and left me with my adopted dad when I was younger. And he became very depressed and alone and really not knowing how to manage it. And I ended up going into a foster home, and this home had 5 kids. And the love, the sacrifice, bringing me in as a perfect stranger was such an incredible experience to understand kindness and humility. It was just really opened me up to what's possible with other people that may love you. My dad's commitment to getting me back and getting back on track also taught me resilience. And I learned that we can love people We can turn our lives around and overcome anything and have a fresh start. And so this was really that pillar of building community, just knowing that no matter where we're at, community doesn't, it could be a place of support. It could be a place of riding this wave together. And that's really what brought me here today in love of community. So how many of you have read that book, The Experience Economy? Write it down. It's such a good book. So Experience Economy really is a powerful book that talks about how we create experiences for our customers, for our community. People will pay for experiences. People talks about, one of the things is you can go to 7-Eleven and pay 75 cents for coffee. It may have doubled or tripled right now with inflation, but you can pay a low amount for coffee there. You pay another price for Starbucks, which is a little more. You go to Italy and in Venice, you're going to pay $20 for a cup of coffee, and it's all about your experience. And so this is a great book to really look at when building community and seeing ways that you can really enhance your community experience. So number one thing to building community is connection. And so we want to have that place of connecting. A basic thing is our database. What do you use to have people stay connected to you and know what's going on? Another way of connecting is something like we're doing right now. This is a Zoom. It could be connecting on phone. It could be connecting in person. Could be connecting virtually. It's really important to find out, what is that connecting point, knowing where and how you're going to connect, and everybody should have a database. If you don't have a database, and I believe I'm looking around here, most of you that I know you do, that is really that's your first place of connecting. But what's important in building a strong community and actually turning them into raving fans is having a place where people have a voice and they can contribute. Right? One of our core values is every voice matters. If people feel that it's one-sided, like there's a lot of people that are promoting community, but to me, it's more like a dictatorship, and not dictatorship in the strong form, but it's like, here, I'm the one talking, listen to me, and I'm teaching and I'm training, but there's really not that sense of community where people are connecting with each other, people have a voice, people can contribute. To me, that is I hope this is okay. I'm saying it is okay. That's not really the type of community I'm talking about. The type of community is where they can connect and actually give feedback and actually feel a part of it. Right? Do you guys agree with that, with community? How many of you guys have been a part of community where they call it a community and all they're doing is it's like a one-way communication? Yeah. So that's really, really key. Juliet, I love what you're doing on LinkedIn. Oh my gosh, Juliet, real quick, can you share your challenge that you're doing right now? Because I know you're building a great community. You're sharing, you're pulling lots of people. You really embody community. I'm sorry I'm putting you on the spotlight, but can you share your challenge real quick that you're doing on LinkedIn and then let me know?
Yeah. So we have a 10-day author platform building challenge going on right now, and we're doing it via LinkedIn newsletter. So if you want to join, LinkedIn newsletter is amazing. It'll take an article and drop it right into your inbox. And so we've been using it really effectively over the last, 5-6 months. We've built up, I think, an audience of like 2,800 that gets that newsletter now. If you guys want to go check it out, go over to www.breakthroughauthornewsletter.com. That'll take you right into a post, an article post, and then you just subscribe and it will start dropping those into you weekly.
Beautiful. And so what's wonderful about how she's done this is it's in a platform where people can communicate. They can ask those direct questions. And so I have to say, I was there with Juliet when we discovered the power of the LinkedIn newsletter. We went and looked, and she was like, oh my gosh, she had thousands of people on her LinkedIn newsletter. So if you're already doing a newsletter, and I know this is going to be a big part of MediaMagicBootcamp.com, this 8th one, where we're really going to be sharing the power of LinkedIn and some of what she's doing. So thank you, Juliet. Will you please post that in the chat, that link, so everybody has that, and say it one more time. I know you're on mute.
It's breakthroughauthornewsletter.com, which is another one of our tricks. I could just let you go find it, but we attached it to a URL so you can go right to it.
Yes, you're a master at that. Thank you. This is why I love hanging around all you guys, because I've learned some really cool tricks, like go get a domain, so that you can redirect people to specific pages and stuff. All right. So number one is connection. Number two is cause. In building community and connecting to creating raving fans, is people want to have a cause. People really want to tie to something where they know that they're making a difference, making an impact. And with that, when you have your cause, being able to articulate that in a way so that others can connect to it, that clarity leads to power in community. I love, Nancy, whenever we come to your events, you have your mission and vision up on pop-ups. So people can really see, this is what we're doing, this is why we're here. And it looks like everybody, Yang, we may need one more thing here. Participants can chat with everyone. Okay. I'm sorry. I just learned a new thing about Zoom. Now, Juliet, all of you guys, if you can repost that, any of your comments, sorry, I guess there was a new setting that I learned. So really casting that vision. So when I first learned this strategy, I had a international organization. We were growing, thousands of people across the United States. And in the beginning, I always casted our vision. This is what we're doing. This is why we're here. And it was like a magnet. People would come. And at some point, I got really feeling like, oh, people are tired of hearing this. It's the same people over and over again. Why let's stop repeating this vision. And I have to say, my membership and everything started dwindling. I could see such a drastic change by not casting that vision. And the minute I realized it and started casting it again, people weren't tired of hearing the same thing over and over again. It gave them hope. It gave them inspiration. So really getting clarity on what your cause is, or what the organization's cause is that you're a part of. Now, if you don't, some of you may be solopreneurs right now, right? Or you may be pivoting or growing something. You can easily find a cause. So for us at the Business Acceleration Network, we support young leaders. Anybody under 27 to the age of 8, we help them with entrepreneurship. We help them, we just had somebody where we help them, get transportation and get mentorship and lots of things. So find your cause that even for your business that you can start sharing and letting people know. And if you have your cause, go ahead and put it in the chat so other people can see what it is that you do. What is your give back and how are you doing that? So number one, connection. Number two, cause. Number three is communication. So people really need that place to communicate. And with everything that's happening in the world right now, I can't emphasize enough that your database is where the power is. I see a lot of people put all their time into Facebook groups. I see Eli connecting, and Eli's our automation relationship builder. What are you? You're the people whisperer, right, Eli?
That is what I've been called. Yes.
Yeah. And so there at any moment, people can be censored or what we found is over time, there's just a lot of noise on social media, right? A lot of things are not being seen. And once you pay for ads, then you have to keep paying for ads. And so really having that place of communication so that people can connect with you, make sure that you've got the database. If you use social things like Juliet was saying with LinkedIn or Facebook or items like that, we have a dog that wants to learn collaboration. Then you want to make sure that you're doing that. And also, if there is, in true community where there's that two-way communication, make sure you let people know how to communicate with you. What's the best way? So for me, I have meetshannon.com. And when you go to meetshannon.com, you can see every social media. So people can pick whatever platform works for them. You can text, you can book a calendar. I know, Eli, you have your calendar. So be sure in your community communication, that you give people a way to connect with you. Now, over time, like Nancy, you don't have time, and many of you that I know, Orly, you may not have time to meet with people one-on-one. So your communication may be something like this, where once in a while you get together in a group meeting and you're able to support and connect others, right? So be thinking about how you're going to be having that communication and what is that. And one of my mentors said that right now we have to over communicate, where things are being lost in emails and spam and busyness, that, for us, like we started doing emails and SMS. And so looking at, if you have a calendar, you may need to over communicate because of what's happening, especially if you're on a mission and you want to get things done, have those places of really making it easy for people to access. I'm going to read some of the things in the chat. Nancy, mission to serve, advocate, and promote as trusted voice for a business community. I love that. I love how you showcase that every time and you share that at your events. Christy, my cause is grassroots movement. We are creating a paradigm shift in education, making it fun, inspiring, joy, and expansion, and eliminating the sit down, be quiet, and do what you're told way. And this is with parenting. And this is with education and homeschool. Christy, will you drop your website in there so I can share that? Amanda, helping individuals prioritize healthy outlooks through self-care and self-love. I love it. Beautiful. So you guys, this is wonderful. We have our individual cause and a lot of it. Can you see how you can share this and invite people in to join? And there may be things that you do a little bit of a tweaking to where you can invite people in. We're looking for people who want to help individuals prioritize their health outlook, right? So those are other ways of doing that. Regina, teaching people how to transform overwhelm into fuel so they can live with peace, prosperity, healthy and happy. I love it. I love some of these words. And in Media Magic, we talk about those words that people are feeling so that they can connect with it. And so Regina, when you said overwhelm, that's a common one right now. What a great selection of words. And all right, Barefoot Learning Club. That's Christy's, who we just talked about. Anybody that's watching us on live stream. And if you are watching us on live stream, you can still register and join us. And when we do our breakout rooms, it's great to join us live. So we have Eli. We have this amazing technology that keeps us closer than we've ever been yet. We're less connected than ever, and we have become slaves to our technology. Wow. The same technology that was meant to be a tool to help us make life easier and become closer. So Meet Cool People movement is to change that. Awesome. Thank you, Eli. So this is the power of having that cause. So now we're going to talk about number 4. Number 4 is collaboration. And to me, that's kind of that magic key, that place of bringing people together. And when I first really learned about the Raving Fans and collaboration, I was doing this event that we'd been doing for years. And, we'd bring people together, and as normal servant leaders or volunteers, they'd show up. Okay, what do I do? How do I do it? And they were just servant leaders, which is the way we normally do it. But the magic is this year I wanted to do it differently. So I brought everybody together and I had everybody share, hey, why are you here? And what are you hoping to get out of it? Just those 2 questions, to where we could hear why they were here, it created collaboration. Not only was I able to be aware of what happened, but everybody was able to be aware of what happened. And I have to tell you, we had more sponsors than we ever had. We sold out the event. We never sold out the event before. We sold out the event a couple weeks in advance. And we had such a commitment and such like a family niche that the fundraiser was just awesome. When we had gaps in the event, people were able to easily identify and pick up. And so in that collaboration, you also have to look at that environment of collaboration. How do you get people to connect? How do you get people to have a voice and share what they're needing? And so that's one of the things that we use, and part of why we do what we do at all of our webinars. When we get into these breakout rooms in a minute, I know that you guys, that's where the magic happens. You're going to meet somebody that could help you, or that you can support and really start collaborating. So when you start looking at this concept of collaborating, if you're building your own community, I think it's important to come up with that code of honor. It's important to come up with what are those core values that you find important for you. You know, what are things that you stand for. And so like for us, you know, every voice matters. Even the smallest voice can be heard. This is one of our code of honors. So we're gonna allow any learning style to come in. Whether you're just getting started or you're advanced, we're gonna meet you where you are. Also, we have a thing of taking care of yourself. Like we, you know, if we're doing an event, you got to go to the restroom. This is not kindergarten. You don't have to ask permission. You get to go and take care of yourself. If you're feeling an overwhelm, we want you to ask for help. So we've come up with a few code of honors that are important. The other thing with us is our mentors, they brain tithe at our events, but please don't expect that they're going to continue to do that always. And another one is really sharing if there's conflict. We work a lot in conflict resolution and how to navigate change and things like that. And so with that is if there's something bugging you, that you let us know, that we don't create these pyramids in what happens in sometimes corporate world of, hey, let me go tell Nancy what I think about Juliet. Right. And then, you know, Nancy and I will start this gossip thing, and doesn't mean that you don't talk to people if you seriously want help. Like, hey, Nancy, I need help with how to navigate, how to best talk to Juliet. Right. But the best way, and one of our code of honors, is go directly. If I have something with Juliet, I'm going to pick up the phone. Hey, Juliet, I'm a little triggered right now, or I'm kind of upset about this, or, you know, this is what's going on, and having that direct conversation. So be thinking about your code of honor. I gave some examples here of what that is, but you get to decide what those are, and to be able to share those, especially with your inner team. If you have a board or you have advisors or things like that, let people know what you expect from them. We do have our agreements for collaboration. Yang, if you can go ahead and put that in the chat. If you go to businessaccelerationnetwork.com /agreements, we have a construct of helping people create those agreements. So when you come into a collaboration, it's really important to not only cast that vision and create a shared vision where everybody knows where you're going, but also talking about roles and responsibilities and how to manage conflict, and how do we know we're on track and getting those results. And so when you're looking at this piece of collaboration and building community, to have those agreements in place are really important, and to be able to talk about our agreements. The one thing that I love about this process is that in our agreements for collaboration, this is a model that was instigated and started with Stuart Levine. We've kind of hybrided and added some other things, but we talk about fears and concerns. And in the manifesting realm, a lot of people say, or the law of attraction, we don't talk about our fears and concerns. And I remember in the beginning, I had a lot of resistance to this. But what I found is that when we talk about our fears and concerns, we can resolve them. If we don't talk about them, there's a high chance we're going to manifest them, because they're there, right? They're there on some unconscious level. And so it's very important to say, hey, this is what I'm concerned about. And so I love this agreement collaboration piece, because it becomes not just an agreement you shove in a drawer that somebody signs, you don't look at. This becomes a working agreement of how do we play together? What do we do? So be sure in your community that you have those clear agreements. And then number 5, so we went connection, cause, communication, collaboration. Number 5, which is the pillar, is consistency. People need consistency. So it becomes safety. It becomes something people can count on. It gives them something to look forward to. Believe it or not, a lot of people, when there's a lot of change or there's unknown, people get paralyzed. Not everybody is a risk taker like me, where I'm like, okay, I don't know where we're going. Let me get in the car and I trust we'll get there. A lot of people aren't comfortable getting in a car without knowing the end in mind map. And so that place of consistency is really powerful. What does that look like? That, you know, we do a free webinar every month. It could be you bring together your community once a month. It could be weekly. I invite you. A lot of times when I started building community, at first I got really gung-ho to doing things weekly. It's not always necessary, depending on your program and what you're doing. It sometimes, many times, less is more, right? It's like we don't need to be filling up our schedule to be consistent. It's just knowing that there is something that people can count on to look forward to, something that they can schedule. How many of you guys have went to a restaurant and you had the most incredible first meal, and then you went back again and you ordered it and it was totally different? Did that kind of change your perception of the restaurant? I remember going across the street and they had this best shrimp, and I've never been able to get it the same. I'm like, oh my goodness, what happened? And so we really count on that consistency. So you want to, same with dates, Juliet. Oh, that's a good one. You go out, you think, oh my gosh, this is great. The second day, you're like, who is this person? So we want to create consistency in our business, and we want to make it known. We want to make it easy for people to find where you're at. If you don't have on your website where to find you and what you're doing, I definitely consider that. Now, some of you may not be doing a bunch of your own events, but you might be a part of other events. Well, you could have a place where you're connected, and this is where people can consistently find or see you also. So find that way of consistency. Set a schedule. It could be events, emails, and also when building that structure, ask and get engaging questions. Right? Like get people engaged in what you're doing. I know when we work on our Media Magic blueprint and our marketing plan, that's one of the first things that we look at is what are those engaging questions to get people involved? Nancy, one of yours would be, do you own a business? How long have you owned a business? It's getting people to where they answer their questions, but at the same time, it's also getting to know them and being able to best help and advise them. So before we get into the breakout rooms, I just have a couple of things where I want to share. Yep, asking questions is the key to life. Areas of where you can look at community and start studying community. So when I started working with community, I think some of you may have heard this story, but I got to be the president of the Cocoa Beach Business Improvement Council. And when I first came in, this was a 30-year organization, and it just got disintegrated. Like they lost almost all of their members because they got political. And this is where, right now, as you guys know, we're in a really divisive, it's always kind of divisive, but you want to look at, now, if that's your voice and that's what you're here to do, then great, that's your place. You want to be finding those places of where you are, when I think of community, how you're finding people to bring together. So what we did when we rebuilt this is we had political stuff, but it was a separate committee, right? We didn't bring it at the forefront of everything we're doing. And we brought it more neutral. Like when we did our political panel, we brought in everybody to look at it, right? So find those places where you can build community and keep it consistent. I love that movie Bat Kid. How many of you guys watched that movie Bat Kid? All right, if you have not watched it, it is such a great movie. A couple of reasons. One is, grab your tissue. It's a total tearjerker, but you get to look at how they built community around a cause. It is that, what's that? I'm not remembering the organization where kids it's a Make-A-Wish Foundation, I believe. So a kid had cancer, he made a wish, he wanted to be Batman for a day, save the city, and the mayor got involved. All of these people got involved. And so to look at that from a place of community, when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is how you do it. This is how you get people involved. This is how you engage. And it really talks about these key pieces that I shared with you today. So I invite you to take a look at Bat Kid. And then also the messages, Messages of Geese, or the Goose poem. Some of you guys have heard that. I'm not going to go over that because I want to make sure we get into the breakout rooms. But in the geese poem, they talk about how, like geese flying in V formation, uplift the wind, that formation helps them get where they're going much quicker. That when the leader gets tired, they take a break and go to the back and they have another lead geese. So there's this place in teamwork when you're building community that poem is really super powerful and I'll pull it up so I can share it with you guys while you're in the breakout room, to really look at how am I doing this in my community? How am I bringing up leaders? How am I, how can we rotate leaders and things like that? And then my last thing that I always love looking at that I think is really a fascinating way of studying community is open mics. Anybody here love music? Right? Anybody sing at open mics? I haven't been brave enough to do that, but Nancy's like, no. Okay, so open mics, I have to say, I remember going to, we had this jazz club here in Cocoa, and I remember one night there was 21 people up on stage with saxophones and flutes and singing and keyboards, and I was literally like, okay, here are white collared bikers, every walk of life. And the biggest thing that I learned is music is such a beautiful catalyst for bringing people together. A smile, something as simple as a smile, something as simple as, as we talked about, treating everybody as significant. But I remember here were all of these walks of life, and around open mic and a song, they all came together, and all of a sudden it didn't matter where they worked. It didn't matter what their skin color or political beliefs were. It's like, it was such a powerful vessel for building community. Nancy, I remember one time we did a business event and we had somebody come in and play the guitar and sing. And I remember at first we were like, I've never done this before, right? And it was I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. It was like people afterwards, it just totally uplifted all of these business owners. People were sharing things of like, hey, I play the guitar. Hey, I do this. I mean, it was just such a powerful moment to bring in music. So anytime you can do that, that's a great catalyst to build community. So I'm just going to open this up for if there's any highlights, questions real quick. I'm setting up the breakout room. And then I want you to know I'm going to stick around after this if there's questions also that are here. Any questions about this particular topic? All right, you guys are so simple. Here we go. All right. So breakout rooms. So when we get into the breakout room, this is your chance to share who you are, what you're up to, and practice your elevator pitch. In each room, is there anybody not getting into a room? If you don't mind just putting in the chat, I'm not, sometimes people get a little nervous about getting into a breakout room, but I invite you to step through that nervousness and join us, because it is really a powerful opportunity to meet, for people to get to know who you are. And so when you get in here, it would be great to share who you are and if there's something that you're looking for next in your business. All right, Katie, let me go ahead and move you out.
Shannon.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
There are several points. Is there a logic or a way of developing it so that you don't get confused with everything that's going on? Is there logic to it?
Yeah, so I find that basing everything that you're doing starts with that cause. So logically, it's getting in touch with that thing that you're passionate about to build community.
Okay.
When you have that cause and that becomes your pillar, Dr. Yulwin, which I know yours is helping develop leaders. Like we've got leaders, but we need to evolve into this new leadership, right? With what's going on. And so you're passionate about supporting leaders with their existing challenges. You've also seen a lot of challenges that leaders have and that they feel alone, that they're not able to navigate. And so when you start with that cause, it seems like the connections build around it, the communication builds around it, and the collaboration and the consistency. Can you see that, Dr. Yulwin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And so having that cause clearly defined, and if there's, again, I kind of challenge you guys, what's your individual cause, even for cause marketing, those pieces. But when you start building community, for you, Dr. Yulwin, yours is ideally the leaders. So there could be your internal community of people that are helping you implement your mission, but then you're also building a community of leaders that are following these principles, that want to be peer-to-peer and help collaborate and connect.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yes, very
awesome.
Helpful. I appreciate it.
Any other questions? Okay, that was great, Dr. Yulwin. That was just the best question. Okay, so when we get into the breakout rooms, I just want to remind you, hold on, let me move Eli here. That this is, questions you have about their business, just get their name and number afterwards. Have your information ready in the chat. We'll show you how to save the chat at the end, or make sure you save the chat at the end. Hang out just for a moment because we may be moving somebody around, but get a timekeeper. So when you share 30 seconds, 60 seconds max. The timekeeper will be, give you that notice, and then we'll go ahead and move on to the next person. So it's really just that planting that seed, and ask that question, who do you know? Or I'm looking for. Really, when you close, it's kind of like a radio commercial. I'm looking for blah, 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 blah. Who do you know that can benefit from whatever that is? So, yep, I see a couple people aren't able to get in. I'm going to go ahead and get you in the breakout rooms now. There will be a mentor or a team leader in each one. So just follow their lead. So Juliet, Eli, I have all of you guys all set up, and here we go. I'll see you back here. Oh, let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, 9. Not 1 minute. Okay, here we go. And I am going to move you to room. Let's see here, 4. Yay. All right, we're getting everybody in here. Hi, Greg. All right, if you're not going in the breakout room, Donata and Greg, Greg, I need to put you into a breakout room if you're willing to go into one. And let me make sure we don't have 4. Here we go. All right. Donata, are you able to join a breakout room? And I'm going to pause this recording. Perfect. Okay. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, I've got to scoot, Shannon. I've got to go meet a client, but I'll put my info here.
Awesome. In the main chat. Good, good, good.
Yes.
Smart thinking, girl.
Yeah. All right. Good to see you.
You too. Hi, Debbie.
Hi.
Awesome. Okay, we've got everybody back. Please feel free to drop all your your contact information in the chat. We're going to save that at the end. I just have a couple quick things that we have coming up. I want to make sure you guys are all invited. Anybody want to share a real quick aha, something they learned before we move on?
Whoops. Oh, no,
I'll share.
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't realize I was off mute. I'm so excited because we have people from all over the world. We have a gentleman who is doing some big work in Pakistan joining us today. So I'm really excited to see Rizwan on the call today, and just awesome to see the expansion of this community. It's awesome.
That's what's so amazing about community, is we can build it all over the world now. Right. Anybody else? One more share? Okay, so I'm just going to share a couple of events, but I just want you to know, if there's any authors in the house, you want to make sure that you go to breakthroughauthormagazine.com. Juliet Clark has been putting together this incredible subscription of marketing tools. Whether or not even you're an author, there's some great marketing tools in there. But if you are an author, I just want to give her a personal plug, because that magazine has been really a catalyst for a lot of individuals to get going. I wanted to invite you guys to our community with the collaborators. Yang, if you'll do the drop in as I go through these real quick. This is where we have lots of e-learning courses. We actually get together for a monthly mastermind. We have a private channel that we connect with ongoing so you can get support. You can become certified as a collaborator with our Agreement for Collaboration course. All of that is included. This is a great opportunity to be a part of a community and really take advantage of what we have and a lot of people that are here. So businessaccelerationnetwork.com/club. Those of you that might want some more one-on-one, we even have a little bit upper level with one-on-one, and you get to plug into some of our speaking opportunities, Media Magic Bootcamp, and more. You heard me talk a lot about Media Magic. Oh my gosh, look, you can see Eli on here and Dr. Yulwin. You want to mark your calendars, January 19th, 20th, secure your seat. The end of the month, we have our special opportunity. The prices our early bird special is ending. So Media Magic Bootcamp, this is not a lecture and learn. This is where we're working on your pitch, working on your press kit, help you develop a press release. And the minute you sign up, we send you the work to start developing your expert power bio. So go to Media Magic Bootcamp and look at that, or you can take a screenshot, use your QR code on your phone to capture this. And it's a really remarkable event. Also next month, our free webinar is on raising $1 million in 90 days or less. Those of you that don't know, I've raised millions of dollars and help others do the same. Believe it or not, all of these features come into it, building community and media and aspects to raise $1 million. But this really gets into the nuts and bolts. We have individuals you'll be able to tap in, like a former SEC attorney, top IP attorney. If you have a business that you're looking to raise capital for, this is definitely something that you want to plug into, and it is free. And then last but not least, how many of you guys like adventures? Juliet, I don't think I talked to you about this adventure yet. I know I did, but I don't know if you're going to come to Florida or not. I hope so. So it's when we get up against those edges and we do things that maybe, we wouldn't normally do. We stretch our minds and stretch our hearts. I wanted to invite all of you guys to our Rockstar Wisdom Retreat. Not all of you can attend because it's only for 12 people. And we have a couple of registrations now. This is a chance where you get to come and meet our mentors. We're right on the ocean, so you get to play at the beach in the sun. It's actually 2 days. We moved it to 2 days, so sorry about that. Co-working, get stuff done, one-on-one coaching before and after, 2 catered lunches, and really a remarkable event. Gosh, it is 2 days. I apologize because we changed the format so that we could lower the price. So it's $997. Yang, if you'll drop that in. Oh, awesome, Juliet. So if you go to I believe it's shannonprocise.com, Media Magic Retreat, but Yang, you'll go ahead and put that in there as we go. So with that, I thank you guys so much for joining me today. I want to open it up for any final questions, any final remarks. I'd love to hear. I know some of you have to go if you need to, if there's an aha that you want to share. And one last thing I want to say is that if you are feeling stagnant, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling you need clarity, then joining community can be that catalyst to do that. Find a community in your area, go to meetup.com, join our community, be a part of community, because that can really be that place of going to the next level. And I forgot to add one thing about the retreat that is a really key point, is the very first exercise we do helps you get absolute clarity on what you're doing that supports you and what you're doing that not support you. We have a process that people have literally came out of the process and did a major pivot in their life because they got really clear on what it is. So if you're looking for clarity or insight, please consider joining us. So with that, I'm going to open it up for any final questions, comments, remarks. And I'm going to thank the mentors. Juliet, anything on your end?
You mean coming up?
Well, any comments, questions?
No, this was great. We do have 2 author courses coming up. One next month, I Love Content, and the other is the Platform Palooza, the Platform Planning Palooza. So planning for 2023. So if you're an author, interests you, get in touch with me.
Awesome. All right. Any other questions about community or anything coming up? Okay, Dr. Yulin. I love your questions, by the way,
I
Dr.
want-
Yulin.
Yeah, I want to thank you for what you have shared today. It was very informative. And there's one of the things to know a lot of pieces of things, but how it comes together. And then you hear it in a different way where you recognize the power of those things that you were suggesting. So I just wanted to thank you.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Yulin. And for you, Dr. Yulin, and everyone here, the raving fan piece comes most of the time when people not only connect with the vision, but connect with a leader that inspires them to their greatness, right? And so Nancy and Juliet and Orly, like all of you here that I know personally, I know each of you have brought out greatness in many people, including myself. And so that's where you really get the raving fans, is when you start uplifting others. So thank you. Any other final remarks before we say goodbye? Orly?
Well, I just wanted to thank you because Eli and I met with you in Miami in 2019. And we just reconnected, and I have so much to share with him and help him out. And so I'm just grateful.
Yay. Thank you. That's the magic coming
Yeah.
together.
We're going to have some fun.
Awesome. Nancy, anything on your end? Any final remarks or anything I left out? Miss raising millions of dollars and helping our community in a big way.
No, I think your mindset is definitely different than most in the business community. I have to say that, they tend to be much more traditional. So I always find you fantastic with, as you say, trying new things and just going for it. And you inspire me. And I've already written down 2 things that I'm looking at. And I have to say that invitation that you sent with the card and then music and the whole thing, we were like so thrilled. We're like, okay, how do we use that?
Yes.
That's great. So I have to thank you, because every time you send us something that is cutting edge, for us it is, we're like, that's terrific. How can we incorporate all this cool stuff Shannon does?
That's
You
awesome.
inspire us.
That's another trick I got from Juliet. But I'm happy to
I
share
was
the
just
link.
about to ask, well, what is that? How do we
Yeah, if
do
you click
that?
on the invitation, there's a link there. But yeah, Juliet
Okay.
Juliet does virtual book signings. As you can imagine, the book
Right.
industry had to pivot, right?
Of course, of
And so
course.
she started doing these virtual book signings, and these invitations, she said, were just the huge catalyst. And for me as a business owner, there's automatic resends, there's SMS. Remember I talked about in community over communicating? It has all of that built in there. And so it's really a powerful tool.
Can I say something about it real quick? You guys,
Yes.
and the other thing, email has gotten so overwhelming in our inboxes that I have to tell you, half the time I don't open it. If you look at the open rate on these, they don't go into spam. People get this beautiful envelope that they can't help but open.
Right.
And the open rate is in the 90%.
Juliet, can you
which-
put the link
yeah.
in the chat for us, please? I mean, if it's your link or it's your whatever.
Yeah. Let me go.
Oh,
I'll go find it real quick, and I'll put it in the link, because it is truly an amazing, and you get to design, which is fun.
I know, it's awesome. Just beautiful. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Juliet. Thank you, Nancy. Hi, Greg. I'm so glad you joined us. All right, Eli, any final remarks?
As always, it's just always fun to catch up with everybody, hear what everybody's doing, and see what kind of magic's happening.
Beautiful. Thank you, Christy.
There you go.
Oh, I always just enjoy this so much. Everybody's meeting I agree with Eli. Meet cool people, come to Shannon's event. Just enjoy it.
Awesome. Wonderful. So if there's not any other remarks, I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye, and we'll end with our fun celebration song. Thank you, Regina.
Thank
so
you,
much.
everybody.
Hi, guys.
Good job.
Everyone, have a great day. Thanks, Shannon.
Bye for now.
Bye.